In this episode of Sailing Nandji, we complete a 700 nautical mile passage to Sorong, Indonesia. We fix things that broke on passage and Nandji gets a new toy.
After crossing the equator and making our offering to Neptune, we were swiftly inundated by a heavy squall with strong winds and heavy rain. Heading south once more, we had 150 nautical miles left of sailing to reach the city of Sorong.
It's a pretty heavy rain at the moment. It's really, really heavy. Bucketing down. Woo! Maybe Neppy didn't like vodka.
The rain eventually subsided as the wind turned to the west, making for a long final night of passage sailing upwind. By morning, the wind had dropped out and the sky was as beautiful as ever. Finally, a favourable wind blew for our final approach to Sorong. After a shocking night of that dead westerly at 20 knots, no fun at all. But we got a bit of a southeast that's pretty settled now, and we're doing like 7.5, 8 knots. We're getting a bit overpowered, so I have to hand steer a bit, but having a hell time. So that's the Navy. Get 'em, Marley. Get 'em. With the Navy cruising past for a close look at Nandji, a friendly fisherman came over for an inspection as well. I refused his painter when he offered us to tow him, but gave the man a bottle of water as no doubt he had none. Just before the sun set, we managed to drop the anchor, completing our 700 nautical mile passage and 9 days at sea. We're outside the market, we're just waiting for a driver, the owner of Helena Marina, who we've been getting a lot of stuff sent to, and he's come to pick us up, so this will be our first meeting.
He's going to give us a tour around and help us find stuff that we need.
We need lots of stuff.
Yeah, we need, so we asked him to organise a driver for us, but he's coming out personally. So.
Legend.
Woo, feeling a bit special.
So we just got ourselves a couple of nuts while these nuts wait for him to arrive.
Yeah, Marley's coming too, which is awesome. Hey Marley!
Mr. Wick is an Aussie expat who has lived in Sorong for nearly 30 years. For any visiting yachties, Wick is your man. He has an engineering business, marina, quality workers, speaks fluent Bahasa, and is probably the nicest gentleman we have met for a long time. How good is this? What a legend Wick is. Just lent us his little 3.5.
How do you work this thing?
Wick had arranged for a mechanic to fix our Mercury, loaning us this little outboard. We had been emailing for the past few months as he helped arrange for our new toy to be delivered to his business.
Right, let's see what Nandji's new toy is. Oh my god, it is huge! Come and have a look.
This is what dreams are made of, ladies and gentlemen. Whew. It's been a long time coming. Look at that thing. You don't know what it is, but I'm pretty stoked. Joins another way. Love that smell, it stinks like new.
New rubber.
New things, we haven't had anything new for so long. Oh, that's a seat. Yeah, we'll have a seat.
Yeah. Got a cook pump, got some oars, everything.
Yeah.
After unwrapping our new tender, we got busy inflating and inspecting it. It's been a long time coming, and finally we can bid our farewells to the old. We chose this tender, the CL260 from Highfield, for multiple reasons. The hull is alloy, so it's light, It has a front fuel locker to help keep us organised and safe as we can lock it. The fuel line runs under the floor through to the bilge, and having a flat floor and bilge will help keep our feet and groceries dry. It's also the same size as our old tender, so it fits perfectly on the deck and the davits. It's the Ferrari of the tender world.
Check that out.
Amazing.
Pretty happy with the way she looks, but for the final touch, Wick's got this under control.
Yes!
Forex gold, the true liquor of Australia, of North Queensland, going right where it should be.
There it is.
Captain works up a thirst.
There it is. With a new tender looking the goods, it was time to see if she floats and take it to Nandji.
Love Indo. Just chuck it on the roof. How good is that? Is that a boat or are you happy to see me?
That's a boat, all right.
Oh yeah. In you get. Up. Good boy.
It's like all of our Christmases have come at once. It's so good.
Arriving to the beach, people came from everywhere wanting to assist us carrying it down to the water. Such is the friendly nature of the people of Sorong. I rewarded them all with packets of cigarettes and they were stoked. Being on a tight budget whilst travelling means new things do not come along very often. It was nice to have upgraded the tender and receive it the same way as our previous. 2 years ago we purchased our tender second hand on our journey across Australia to move on to Nandji. For $600 we got a bargain as our beloved Ladiva took us around Australia and the Pacific. Bringing her to shore for the final time, we swapped the outboard over and waved goodbye to our old car.
Yay! Woo! Yoo-hoo! We're lucky that we can use our old tender, so we've gifted it to him, so it's perfect.
Straight swap.
Straight swap, easy.
Gifting the tender to Wick and his family, we knew we had given the boat to the right person. Someone who has the skill and resourcefulness to give Ladiva a facelift and bring her back to life. Returning to Wick's house, our assumptions were correct as Ladiva was already looking better. On my boat, having a beer on my boat. This is my boat. I don't know if you knew, but this is my boat. Hanging out with the boat.
Manly! Well, he's pretty comfortable with the old tender. I wonder if he knows what to do with this new one.
In you get?
In you get, Marley!
In you get? In? Oh! And we are floating! This thing is sick!
For this week's feature vid, head on over to the treasure chest to hear how Nandji almost ended up on the rocks with a disabled motor. So all along this street here there's food vendors, so lots of like chicken and fish and vegetables and stuff, so it's all really cheap. It's probably cheaper than cooking it ourselves, so yeah.
Make the most of it.
Yes. Get stuck into it.
And like a true Indo, everyone eats with their hands, like their right hand. Because the other hand is used to be used for wiping the old bucket, but not these days, obviously.
Getting to Sorong, we had mixed emotions. Excited to receive the new tender, but devastated we needed to replace an iPad and laptop that broke on passage.
The laptop is rusak. Rooted, in other words. We've taken the hard drive out and turning it into an external hard drive. So we still got all our footage and everything, we've just lost the laptop.
Our laptop has been reduced to this here.
Next job for Nandji was hoisting Yosh up the mast to fix the broken lazy jacks.
Been up here for a while. Bit of a roll going on. So just dropped this other lazy jack out. It used to go all the way down to the base of the mast, but ran out of rope, so I had to cut it and tie it off up here. So normally you can loosen and back these lazy jacks off, so then you don't get them snagged when you're changing the sail.
So that's another episode of Sailing Nandji.
Yeah, it was a very long sail, sailing across the equator and the 700 miles west, just south of the equator. I suppose most sailors just sail north to south and cross the equator, whereas we just did 700 miles in the equator.
Yeah, I feel glad that we got there at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
We were like in the 1 degree for forever.
A very long time.
And we are loving our new tender. How amazing is it?
Yeah, we are stoked to have that in our possession. We feel very lucky and very fortunate to be able to replace our old tender and have this new Ferrari.
Yeah, we have a lot of things that we need to replace on the boat, and we're just working our way through the list, so we're so stoked that we've got a new tender to kick around in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and a huge thank you to our patrons for making these videos possible. Without you, we'd be anchored Nandji. We wouldn't be sailing at all, so thank you guys so much as always. And a huge thank you to our newest patrons. We have Susan, Katie and Bree, Jim, SB Breezy, I've seen you guys a few times. I'm not sure. Justin from SB Mia Nui, Styan, David, SB Moving On, Steve, Roberto, Tracy, M. McH, Jay, Charlie, Christian, Terry and Peter. Thank you guys so much for jumping on board the Sailing Nandji bandwagon.
Yeah, that was a good extra little list.
I forgot to say also, Doug, George, Chris and Leah up their pledge as well, so thank you guys.
Oh, legends.
I found it very challenging over the last few months as we've only had one laptop and we've had very limited reception, so we're doing the absolute best that we can to get these videos to you guys, and yeah, we just hope that you are enjoying them as much as we are enjoying making them. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching our channel. If you haven't already, subscribe and check us out. We're on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter.
And Marley's got his own Instagram.
Oh yeah, Marley's got his own gram. We'll put it up.
Yeah, he's a social media expert these days. Salty Dog, at Salty Dog Marley. Check him out.
Check him out. Alright, see you guys.
Catch ya. Coming up next on Nandji.
Josh and I have been thinking about getting a crew member on for some time now. Hey, Betty!
There they are.